Good morning, my dears. This is Resilient Lives coming to you on a beautiful day. Just wanting to beam you a little energy and support for these uncertain times. How are you? All is well here. It's nice sitting here in the quiet of the day. And so I'm trusting that your day will go well. You seem to have developed a routine, a ritual for ensuring that your life goes well, and I trust that you will continue to do that. Yesterday, I talked a little bit about coping with all of the numerous things that are happening, and we thought we just kind of reflected, or I reflected on all that is going on. And so this morning, as I sit here on the bench next to Lake Marmo, I'm just reflecting on the enormity of what happened in this whole global world. I don't know, 8 months ago, our world just stopped. It's not new news now. The challenge is, though, we continue to deal with the stresses that are related to this. Good morning. And so, the interesting thought was, we've been looking at how we physically distance, socially distance, to get through all of this. And yesterday we looked at how we can, to deal with the stress of it, how we can temporarily temporally distance from a stressful event. Now, we're talking about how, if you're really stressed, how you can think about place this in the future, and and hopefully by looking at it in the future, it will somehow decrease the distress that we're feeling now. And I think I mentioned about, imagine 10 years from now, and you were telling the story of how you handled this, how you responded, and what mattered. And I just thought about that. Geez, 10 years from now, well, I'm trusting that I'm going to be alive, but 10 years from now, what would I say? How would I even imagine that I coped with this and it would be a successful story? But I thought about it somewhat, and I hope that you'll give some thought to it through how I made it over, how I got through this. And I think I would look back and I say the things that got me through this was having hope. I always have hope. As long as I have breath, I have hope that things are going to work out. And I'm always focusing on the positive rather than the negatives, because the negatives kind of drain me. And then I look at the body, mind, and soul, the biological. My body kind of gives me some little nudges, to do different things. It kind of tells me, all right, you're feeling a little stressed, you're not moving. So I'm paying attention to that. I'm paying attention to my mind, where my emotions going. A little antenna goes up. I think you're feeling, you've lost your joy. You're feeling a little sadness. What we need to have a little laughter in our lives. And so that those are the kinds of things that that I look at. I also look at my family, my family, my circle of my close ones. I have a very close, unbreakable bond with my daughter, and she is miles and miles away. And I think that what matters to me is my daughter, my family, and what keeps me going is I know that we together can do this, and so we continue to stay in touch. I think we talked about together is healing, and we and you. I know that sometimes when I get up, if I'm tired, I remember, well, I have to talk to my people, see how they're doing, encourage them. And so as we even look at our story and how it will look and what will matter in the future, we will see what mattered. And what mattered is you. What mattered is my sister and my brother. You know, we had great plans for 2020. We were going to go on a trip, a cruise. We were going to go visit my sister. There's never been a year when I don't see my daughter at least 3 times. Don't see my brother. I mean, we had plans for our lives, and then smacko, the world went dark. Places closed up. And the confusion I felt was that we are, out here in the park, nature is continuing to thrive, and it doesn't appear that there is this darkness that's hanging over us, this death. But that's a concern, because how do you live thinking that you could possibly die? Well, we're keeping each other together. We're keeping hope alive by encouraging one another. We certainly can't do this by ourselves. We've talked about vital friends and vital support. We get our energy from each other. We're living an intentional life. As I even reflect on the lives that I know that have been lost, and the lives that have been lost in the television, you can be here one day and gone. And so we want to live while we are living. And what does that mean? Well, I want to live joyfully. I want to do something to help somebody. I want to live an intentional life. I'd like to leave a little love, spread a little love, feel a little love. But I just wanted to share my thoughts with you today, because we're going through this lengthy pandemic. Who would have thought that something like this, if I was telling this story to my grandchildren or my great-grandchildren, I would say, wow, there was a time when life was going along just wonderfully, and the world stopped. And as we drive around, places are still closed up, boarded up. Some businesses will never be the same. This is a pandemic that has hit us in every way. We have the pandemic. We have the racial inequities, the racial pandemic. And then we have the recessional, what they call the K recession. K recession is showing that the finances are definitely not equal. The ones on the top are thriving, may not even know that we're in situation here, but the ones on the bottom are feeling it drastically with job loss. And so this is huge, and we're managing it. And so I just want to encourage you, as you look at what your story could look like, just to know that you're doing well, and our story will be one of success. And I'm beaming you a little love this morning so that you will press the pause button and look at your unbreakable bonds and look back and say, wow, we did it. So continue to thrive and to guard yourself, your heart, and protect yourself so that the story will end just as you want it. I'm sending you some love. Love from Lake Marmo. I love you and care for you, and this is our story. Bye now.